facing a one-game suspension for the incident that happened in St. Louis this past Saturday night after the Michigan Panthers and St. Louis Battlehawks game. Now, of course, let's get down to what has actually happened here. I'm going to show you some tweets or whatever you want to call them nowadays from X. And we're going to talk this through because, man, the internet police are out to practically put Nacua Samson to death for what he did. In the amount of idiotness that I have seen in the past couple days about this incident and the suggestions people are stating are absolutely crazy. First and foremost, I want to make it clear, I've seen a lot of people say that him slapping the fan is a felony offense in the state of Missouri and that he should be in jail. That is actually incorrect. Anybody can go and literally Google Missouri law for slapping or hitting or assaulting another human being. It is a Class A misdemeanor. Most of the time, these would probably resort in most likely anger management or to something to that extent. Now, we don't know everything that happened. We do know that the league, based on what Tony Paul of Detroit News is reporting that he has heard from the league, that they have made their decision after investigating the incident that we know they made an official press release on Sunday. This incident here, I do not condone any of it. I'm not standing up for Samson Nacua in this scenario or situation, but there is a key point to some of these tweets and stuff that have been going out that actually paint a different picture than the 10 to 15 second video that has been going around the internet. Let's take a second to step back and state that we know the obvious here. This is happening around the world, specifically more so in America, in the United States, that there's a clip going around the internet of whatever the case may be, and it's like 10 to 15 seconds. It does not show what happened to begin with. It does not show what happened at the end. It's only showing a tad little bit of what happened, and everybody comes out in with their knives wanting justice immediately for this. We don't know any of the incident. We still don't officially know the incident, but we've got a little bit clearer picture because I've seen more times than enough from people that were in attendance, including players' families, not Samson Nacua's, but other players' families that were in attendance on that sideline that have a different picture to paint, which in a way, if this actually happened, Samson Nacua, out of being a professional sports player, he should have never done that, period. He's getting the one game suspension for this, but to his defense, what he may have done was self-defense. Let's talk about this. So again, James Larson is reporting Samson Nacua will face a one-game suspension from the Panthers per Tony Paul 1984, which is with Detroit News, who was caught on, which he states, was caught on camera slapping a fan after this weekend's game in St. Louis. Take that one away. Let's go to the next one. So let's go to this one. I'll go to the other one next. So Brahma Babe on X states, any word on if the fan is facing any repercussions? I heard, keyword being heard, he initially spat on Nacua. I don't condone hands on another, but let's make it clear. If a bodily fluid was released, that can be seen as assault. Bodily fluids are a no-no. And under Missouri state law, spitting on someone is considered assault. Not that it can be seen, it is assault. It literally, and now the video does not show the fan spitting on Nacua. End of story. But again, we don't know what happened before. We don't know what happened after. The way I viewed it is based on the next tweet we have here, the X account. This is coming from Panther's Shadow. Toa Towel's dad also commented on Facebook that St. Louis fans were being particularly nasty with their words. Of course, both of these claims are from the Panthers side, so grain of salt and all that, which I don't even know if you can take that with a grain of salt, just because of the fact that why would it wouldn't make sense. There's obviously more people that saw this, especially on the actual field itself. I'm sure there was security based on that video. It looked like there's probably officials from, I think this game was on ESPN or Fox, one of the two. There's probably officials from there. There's a lot more players. There's other players that saw the incident too. So let's keep that in mind. So this says, Panther bench. I've been to hundreds of different stadiums for the NFL, NCAA, and high school, supporting my sons throughout the years. I have been heckled and harassed before, so I knew not to get involved. Trust me when I say this. There was nobody in that stadium that me and my body, who is ex-Special Forces, would have a problem with. This crowd was by far the nastiest I have ever been around. And again, take this is a parent of another player, saying that I could hear him clearly from where we sat. It wasn't just him. There was even, and sorry, my light went out here. Put that back on real quick. Maybe unplug it and we'll fix it here. Okay, whatever. We're not going to do that. Let me turn on a different light and see if that works better. Okay, so says here, it wasn't just him. There was even a woman screaming at the players about the size of their private parts. People were trying to insult Panther players with nasty negative comments that had nothing to do with football. A lady from the same fan base sitting a couple seats over from him said something to him about the heckling, and his reaction was, I just like the F with them. There comes a point when you are going too far, and he was clearly beyond that point when he decided to spit on Nacua. Okay, again, these are all just reports coming out from players or from family, from fans in attendance, and other things I've read. I've seen some St. Louis fans on X that were there, not for recording, just there, that saw the incident as well, and there's numerous people saying he was spit on. My guess is he was spit on. And again, if the league is only going for a 1-game suspension here, we have not heard, obviously if he's just having the 1-game suspension, to me that clearly states that there is nothing legal at this point happening. The fan, again, didn't seem very fazed by the slap when it happened. And I'm sure they talked to the fan as well, like if he was intoxicated, because at that point, I am guessing security got involved and so did law enforcement at the stadium. There's no way that didn't happen. If there were fans around recording the incident, most likely this escalated. That fan obviously had to go to security or something at that point, unless he was completely intoxicated, which again, those are other things that could be put into effect. I'm not saying he was, not saying he is, but with Tal's dad commenting on a post on Facebook about it, in that scenario, again, the dude said he just likes effing around with players and stuff like that. But again, there's people that take stuff too far, whether they are sober or not sober. I've seen more times than enough being at any football game, not necessarily high school, obviously, but any type of football game. I guess even at high school games, it gets pretty gross. But the fact that that happened is disgusting. If the person in the crowd spit on Nacua, again, it's self-defense in the state of Missouri, according to Missouri law. If you read the law book on assault and everything like that, and you are defending yourself in any way after being spit on or hit, it is considered self-defense, whatever the case may be. Was it professional? Absolutely not. Should he have done it? Absolutely not. But again, there are many a times in this scenario where my view of it is what probably happened is the dude was talking crap. Nacua went over there. The guy spit on him. Players tried to tell him to go away, walked off, and I'm assuming the guy continued to go on and on and on, whatever the case may be. That's when the video starts. Nacua goes over, smacks him in the face, and walks off or runs off. Now, of course, a lot of people are saying that, oh, Nacua, what a, as they are saying, what a bitch. He shouldn't have ran off like that. And you know what? He should have, because it could have escalated to something more dangerous. You can call someone a bitch or whatever the case may be for running off from it after doing it, but you don't know what happened before and you don't know what happened afterwards. Again, these are type of things that are super dangerous on the internet, where these clips get uploaded, whether it is real life situations like, I don't know, anything. Like I saw a video the other day. A lady was in Walmart with her kids. A guy goes up to her and asks her where something was near the aisle. She tells him, he thanks her, goes and grabs it, comes back and is like, thank you, I got this. 5 minutes later, as he's walking out of the store, the lady is on with 911 calling, saying that this guy tried to kidnap her kid and she had to wrestle this kid out of his hands to make sure he didn't kidnap the kid. Guess what? Camera footage from Walmart that essentially showed that never even happened. People will claim stuff to no end to get their side of the story and to accuse people of doing things. This is exactly what the internet is doing to Samson Nacua. Again, I don't condone for any reason any player, staff member, media, whatever the case may be, doing anything to a fan in attendance. But I also want to say the flip side to that too. Just because they are players, they are entertainers, they are coaches, they are staff members, they are security guards, whatever the case may be in that stadium, you as a fan are not right, or the customer's always right, as I've seen in this scenario two people say. They don't get to just heckle you time and time again and continue it and lead to bodily assault by spitting on a player if that happened. That does not give you the right to just do that because, oh, they're entertainers. Who cares? That is disgusting, it is horrible, and it is teaching bad manners to children that are probably sitting around there as well. That's the other thing. I don't know how many times I've been to games with my kids, and there's disgusting behavior happening around all the time that is inexcusable for any fan to do when it is a family environment. That's what the UFL is all about too, is lower tickets to bring your family to, and it's not like the NFL where you're literally spending like a month of payroll to essentially cover a game. Like, again, we've got to be better than this as fans, as players, as people that support this league. The other thing is too, I saw and I mentioned this earlier, was that people were taking that video and putting it next side to side with Dean Blandino, basically reviewing a fight on the field from either this year or last year. I don't remember any fights this year, but from last year. And it made it look like he was commentating on the Nacua slapping the fan. This has been then portrayed and posted on numerous social media accounts. And the thing is, people are believing it. People in NFL media were believing that Dean Blandino was reviewing this, and they were like, this is disgusting, this league is crap. And the thing is, I saw people tagging Dean Blandino in it, saying, oh, how dare you, this is disgusting, you would do this. That never happened. It's all fake. And we've learned with just how sickening the internet can get nowadays. What is now coming out. We'll wait for the official statement from the league, obviously, but right now, local media in Detroit are saying he's getting a 1-game suspension for this. And you know what? We've got to respect what the league decided. They took into action to investigate this since they were aware of it, which I'm sure they were aware of it on Saturday night, regardless of the fan posting the video or whoever distributed that video. That's another thing that I've got to say is shame on some people, because I think I know who distributed this video, and they are media credential for the UFL, which is disgusting in its own take. Like, report that to the league like you're supposed to and let the league handle it. You don't need to go posting it on social media and then allow people to edit the video to make it look otherwise. So we've got to come together if we want this league to survive, as fans, as media, as players, as staff, as whatever the case may be. This is not tolerable in any form or fashion. But at the same time, if Nacua is spit on under Missouri state law, he can technically retaliate and technically get away with it because it's called self-defense. I don't know if that's the case in this scenario. That's what it's sounding like. But either way, everyone in this situation needs to be professional. And I hope there is repercussions like the Brahmas fan was commenting, is there going to be any repercussions to that person? If that's a season ticket holder, they need to be stripped of their season tickets. It is completely inappropriate to do anything like that. That's not, you can heckle players, and to an extent, I think going above the game of football is where you cut it out. If you're starting to talk about, as Towel's dad was talking about, they're talking about their private parts, they're talking about all this other stuff, it's gross, and it's so wrong on all levels. We don't need to do that as humans. If you want to act and yell at players for being crappy or dropping a ball or making fun of them for whatever the case may be related to the game of football, perfectly fine. I've done that. I think I've done it a few times with Brad Wing and players on the Brahmas when I was at the Renegades game or whatnot, and having fun with it. And he was having fun and whatnot. So again, it's one of these things that we've got to come together as fans, as a community, if we want these leagues to survive. And stop sharing this type of stuff on the internet. That's why I was going to make a video yesterday about it. And then I started seeing how kind of out of hand and like fake videos were being popped up. People were altering stuff. And I just was like, you know what? I'm going to take my hands off this, because I obviously don't know. I want the league to make their official decision, and we know at this point that it is coming from Detroit News that the league has notified them that it's a 1-game suspension. So clearly it is not as big of a situation as most are claiming it is. There obviously is more to the story than what you saw in a 10 to 15 second clip, and I really hope as humans we step away from that type of stuff. And again, I'm telling you right now, I've seen numerous people that are normal fans of this league that are egging it on and encouraging it. I've seen some people tagging Nacua in it. It's gross. Just stop. But yeah, that's my take on it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Obviously, there's so much to this story. I'm not going to tolerate complete BS in the comments. So let me know your thoughts. 1-game suspension is what it is. I know some people were asking for him to be fired and to never be able to go into any type of football again for slapping someone. Like, let's be real, guys. Come on. So anyways, thank you again for joining me. We'll see you back here in just a little bit for the Royal Retros XFL jersey unboxing. Absolutely amazing is all I got to say. I recorded it just a bit ago. You're going to be surprised. I'm surprised. I can't wait to rock this merchandise, and we'll see you on the flip side. Have a great one, everyone.